Say, let me talk to you real quick, look. Say girl, you fine, I'm tryna make you mine. I ain't tryna waste no time, hop in my ride. Got a whip parked outside, got a condo, we can go slide. Oh, I got pride, but I push that to the side. Think I need that on my side. Look at them thighs, look at that waist, look at them hips, look at that face.
Hey cuties, it's Deja and I'm back with another video. As you can see by the title, I'm going to be taking these old crusty 2-year-old bundles and making them into a bomb wig. I did wash and condition these bundles and I boiled them in water and silicone mix before getting started. So let's get on with the video. I started by placing my wig cap on my dome head, as you guys can see here, and my head is kind of big, so I had to stretch my cap to the nape of the neck and I just pinned it all down with T-pins. I decided to get a new closure, so the closure that I'll be using is the Ibiza Wet and Wavy 5x5 lace closure. It was 16 inches and loose deep, and it was like $40 at my local beauty supply. I went ahead and pinned my closure down to the wig cap and to the wig head, and make sure you go ahead and put your closure a little further than the wig cap, and go ahead and pin down all the other areas. The closure did come with baby hairs of its own, and it came pre-plucked, so that was really good. From here, I went ahead and sewed my closure down, but I don't even know how to give like an in-depth explanation, so you guys will just have to watch to see what I was doing. But if you want like an in-depth tutorial, go ahead and leave a comment down below. These were my 2-year-old bundles right here, and I did go ahead and get another bundle from an AliExpress company, but I'll make sure to add that to the description box below. So I went ahead and started sewing in my old bundles. Now when I had my first wig, it was cut into tracks, so you guys are just gonna see me like sewing on track by track. The last bundle that I put at the top, I went ahead and double tracked it. A lot of people don't like to double track at the top because they say like it makes the wig bulky, but it works for me. So do whatever works for you and try to be able to flip the tracks to make it flat. This is the wig after everything was all finished. I know it's two different colors, y'all, because those 2-year-old bundles, I tried to turn them blonde with some box dye. So that's why you see like the dark brown natural hair color, and then you see like those highlights and browns like right here. I decided to go ahead and dye my wig using L'Oreal Hicolor highlights in the colors Magenta and Red. I ended up using 3 things of Magenta and 2 things of Red and 40 volume developer. So when you go ahead and apply this to your wig, I went ahead and did this track by track. Just make sure you really saturate the hair and make sure you have enough dye for the front. Y'all gonna see in the next clip that I was running out of color for my closure and I had to go back in. That's why I ended up using so many magentas and so many reds. You don't have to be so generous like in the back at the bottom because nobody's gonna see that. Try to be more generous at the top when applying the color. Y'all, please use gloves when you apply this color because if it gets on your hands and you're allergic to it, you're gonna start breaking out. And as y'all can see right here, I was picking up the dye in like clumps. I was picking it up on the brush and applying it to the hair. Do not do that. Just dip the brush in the dye and paint it on little by little because I was using way too much dye in the back. See, this is where the struggle started to happen. I did not have enough dye for my closure, so I started scraping together the little bit of dye I had to try to dye my closure, but I ended up going back in with more dye anyway. later on in the day to fix it. But just don't do that. Make sure you have enough dye. When you have a closure or a frontal or anything with lace, make sure you really get the roots, but do not get the lace because you will stain the lace. So just try as best as possible to not get it on the lace, but paint it as close as possible to the root. Make sure you get it on the baby hairs. I did dye my baby hairs this burgundy color. After my horrible mistake, I still let this dye sit in the hair. So I put this cap on it in a garbage bag and I went ahead and let that sit for about 3 hours. But I ended up going back in with some more dye for the top, for the closure part. So I let that sit for maybe an hour or two. I went ahead and let the wig air dry. So this is what it looked like afterwards. As you can see, the top is like a darker burgundy and then the bottom is really pale because of that brown hair color. And plus I didn't add enough dye to the top, even though I put dye on top of that dye. If you're running out of dye, just do not dye that top part and just wait until you get some more. Here you can really see that bright burgundy that's at the bottom because that's where I put most of the dye. That's how I wanted the whole wig, but it's okay. I went ahead and sectioned off each track so I could go ahead and flat iron it, and I just flat ironed the wig. I use this bio silk on my entire wig. I usually only use it on my wigs and not my hair because sometimes it dries my regular hair out, but I always use this on my wigs just to make them a little more silky, and I use the chase method to flat iron. I went ahead and parted my closure into 3 sections so I could start flat ironing it, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply some Vigorol Mousse on it to further lay it down, and later on you're going to see me apply some bio silk to the closure. To really lay the closure down, I added some more mousse, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some spritz before I bring in my hot comb to lay it really flat. After hot combing the closure, I went ahead and plucked the front and the middle, but I didn't show that here because it takes a long time for me to pluck, so I didn't really want to record that part. But if you guys want to see that in another video, just go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. But this is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and leave any video suggestions for me down below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.